Hey, how you doing? Alright, so this time we're going to go ahead and take a look at the mod that I did for my Dx6i. Okay, a little bit of light on it so you can see it. Okay. Take the battery door off. And now inside here, whoop, I already took the screws out. So we Alright, so here we go, sorry about that. All we have in here is a LiPo 2S charging port and a switch. And again, like the last video, I'm going to tip this down to my work table so you can see what's going on. Alright, so I'm going to open this up. Now, it's real simple, 6 screws to disconnect everything. And now, you can see the wires that are inside here. The easiest thing to do is to just unplug everything from the front of your remote, set it aside. You don't need this. So now what I've done, I went ahead and grabbed one of these out. So this here is just your standard 7.4 1000 milliamp hour LiPo battery. Now, the Dx6i can handle up to 9.6 volts. The amperage really doesn't matter. It's only going to draw whatever amperage it requires. Now, the Dx6 is meant to operate at 6.2, between 5.5 and 6.2 volts. Anything above that, yes, it's going to cause your voltage regulator to have to dissipate the voltage due by heat. It's not going to hurt anything. But by adding the step-down buck converter in there, all you're doing is just adding a little extra insurance, a little extra protection. Now, you can see everything's in the back cover. Nothing that I did to my remote changed anything in the remote at all. So, I simply used a screwdriver from the back side here to push out the positive and the negative connector. And on the back side of that, I just simply soldered in positive and a negative. Now I did have to do a little extra wire for the switch, and I only put it on the positive side. It's really all you need. Negative is nothing. Just like standard 12 volt DC, it's a standard 12 or a standard DC circuit. So then my step down buck converter goes from 35, handles 35 volts in, and then it's variable just by turning this little screw here. Okay, don't know, a little dark, may not be able to see it, but anyhow. So I ordered these online off of eBay. If you ask me, I'll tell you what the seller was. I'll never buy from them again. Yes, they're a U.S. seller. Shipping was fast, all of that stuff. But in their listing, this is the exact module which they sell you. It comes in a little plastic package like this. I opened them all to check and make sure. So, don't know if you can read that. That's the model number. You got a DC and AC, you got a DC in and out. Okay. Pretty simple. Okay. It does have a little LED. So thankfully, that's the only one drawback I found to this is once you turn it on by the switch in the back. If you don't turn the switch off, this step-down converter stays powered up all the time. That's what the switch is for, so the battery won't kill itself. I've been using this currently for setup and everything on my helicopters, and I've probably got 10 to 12 hours, and I'm still at 6.2 volts. I have it set for 6.2 instead of 5.5, where it comes up from scratch. But again, like I said, these will handle from 4.5 to 9.6 volts. The closer to the 5.5 you can get, the better off you're going to be. But if you put in 4 standard 1.5 volt batteries, it's 6 volts. So I've got the step down buck converter set at 6.2. So now just to give you a little, I've seen a video where a guy took and he soldered on connections and everything, a JST plug to his connections here, and then velcroed a 22 milliamp 7.4 battery to the back. Okay, I just can't see doing that and then you have an open remote the whole time that you're using it. So again, if you can solder, all of this is fairly simple, fairly easy. Now, if ever I decided I wanted to go back to standard batteries, it's really, really simple. All I would have to do, again, is push out the positive and the negative, and the charging plug will actually push through. I don't want to disconnect the batteries from it, the wires from it, unless I have to. I did make a mistake and messed up one battery in the process. If you accidentally let the little charging wires touch, even for a second, you just fried a battery. So, now reassembly, once you've got all your wiring in, it's actually fairly simple. All the little wires are pretty much where they're gonna be. Okay, not much to do but plug them back where they go. Now, if you're looking in here inside my remote, you see this little plug right here. This is actually the adapter, the adapting plug and everything I needed to power up my backlight, which you can go online and you can watch on YouTube, other people's videos. I watched it. The video that I watched was awesome. Walked me right through the process, step by step. Done. No problem whatsoever. So I'm going to throw a couple screws in here just for giggles. I don't want to say the other word. I'm trying to keep it child friendly. And this is also that we can have fun. That's all this is all about, is fun. The more time we have to play, the better. Okay? I do it as a hobby, so forth. Okay, so now I put a couple of screws in. My remote, I can actually flip the switch back and forth on the face of the remote. Nothing happens until I flip this switch back. Then my remote comes on. But again, if I just turn that off, whoop, the remote turned off. But can you see that blue light inside there? That tells me the switching back isn't turned off. So we turn that switch off, the blue LED light goes out, And that's it. Really, it's that simple. If you can solder, you can do this. It's really simple. It's really easy. It's a fun little project for a little bit. And everything just goes together so quickly and easily. I've seen it. I watched a couple other videos on YouTube about this exact modification. And again, just certain people are just so afraid to open up their remotes. The biggest thing about it is, don't tighten your screws up so tight. Once they bottom out, leave them alone. Not a problem. I've had to do a few things, a few repairs to my remote. It's actually was given to me by a lady whose husband passed away, and it was part of what I got for helping clean up. Was this remote, and in my intro, the eraser. Well, since then I've built a few other helicopters, and we're going to get into those a little bit later, and we're also going to get into some of the stuff that I have, some of the tools I've had to make, and the other equipment that I've had to make so I can make all this possible. I can make my stuff fly. I'm kind of looking here. Sorry about that. Kind of like this little piece right here. Looks a little rough. This little nut in here is just here to hold this screw on. But in one of my next videos, probably third or fourth one down, I don't know, maybe second, I don't know. We'll see on how much I feel like getting into it. But I made this little tool. This is some old parts from an old swash plate. Or not swash plate, I'm sorry. The fly bar level. Here you go. The seesaw, that's it. One of these I took and cut up, and it actually turned into be quite nice. These little tips go right into the set screws, and it holds your seesaw for your fly bar set straight. So again, like I said, in another video we'll go ahead and show you this. I hope this helped you out with your Dx6i. If it was helpful, great. Give me a thumbs up and a like. Come back up here, away from the workbench. If it helped you out, great. You know, hit that like button, hit subscribe. Talk to you later. Have fun. Go play. Work hard at fixing them up and go for it.